It is Tuesday, July 15th. Good morning, everybody. I'm Alison Bologna, joined by my good friend, Jean Valicenti, who is on the other part of the screen with me,
Good
sharing a
morning,
screen
Allison.
today, Jean, like
Good
every
morning.
Tuesday. Good
Yep.
morning.
Yes.
Whoa, it's been quite the 24 hours, right? We're
Yes.
going on 48 hours of
Yeah.
really tragic news. So let's just go through the nuts and bolts and then we'll chat, if that's okay.
Sure.
Tragic story, national headlines this morning. You were field anchoring yesterday alongside the Nationals. 9 people died after a fire at an assisted living facility. This is in the city of Fall River.
Yep.
We haven't seen a fire like this in decades. The fire broke out here. Here are the pictures at the Gabriel House. This is Oliver Street. The alarm came in around 9:30 Sunday night. 7 of the victims have been identified so far this morning. Now we're at Tuesday morning. We're still looking to confirm the names of a 70-year-old woman and a 77-year-old man. One person remains in critical condition at the hospital. More than 30 people displaced, taken to local hospitals for treatment. 70 people living inside the Gabriel House when the fire started. We believe we've been reporting there are 100 beds, though. And we're starting to hear from survivors from this tragedy, too. But first, Jean, let's get up to speed this morning. It's devastating news yesterday. It was as it was unfolding. You know, the phone call came in 9:30, 5 alarms. Fall River responded, mutual aid. And then it just kept getting kind of worse and worse as we dug into the morning.
Yeah, I was out there yesterday, Allison, and I walked all around. Look, they bill themselves as an affordable alternative. Some of the packages are $2,000 all in, with food and 3 meals a day and care and everything else. So, with assisted living, as you and I discussed, sky's the limit. You could spend easily 12,000, 14,000 if you want. So that's how they position themselves. Now you can clearly see, even from a layman, the place was in need of maintenance. I mean, you got cracked sidewalks. The paint is peeling on the balcony exit. So as you look around, you'll find a lot to pick at on this place. On the other hand, it did pass inspection. I know that there are some questions about the owner who's had trouble in the past with other facilities. It did pass inspection, but everybody's going to be going through his records now to see exactly what's what. And there's a question about the air conditioners. The air conditioners are little ones that went in the window as best as they could, but it left a big gap, so that had to be boarded up.
Right.
This is before the boarding yesterday after the fire, and the firefighters are saying, well, those air conditioners kept us from getting people out, kept us from getting in. It's a real problem. Some people are saying, why didn't they have central air conditioning? Well,
it's expensive to put in. You're
yeah.
not required by law. So
think
it's more of a best practice versus whether or not it's legal, right? Fair to say?
Looking at this place, Allison, I think the guy would put the key in the door.
Right.
If he ever was mandated to put central air. I mean, you're talking $1 million maybe for a place like that. And it just doesn't seem, I don't know what kind of profit margins he's looking at, but from what I see and from what he's charging, it looks like there's not a lot of room for capital improvements at that place.
Yeah, I would agree with that. A lot of these folks really seem to be struggling in more ways than one.
Yep.
It looked like economically, but also physically, right? We were seeing people not in great health. But again, this is not a nursing home with 24/7 skilled staff. This is assisted living, independent. We were also talking about how there were some shared living arrangements as well. And as far as rents go, it's not the higher end.
No, it's not.
But it's not. But still, nonetheless, there are safety standards that need to be met, obviously, of course. And we're going to be digging into all that to see what happened. There was also some criticism from at least one former employee who I heard from this morning on Sunrise. But, again, former employee, who knows what the shakeout was. It could be somebody disgruntled. It could be something legitimate. We're still trying to figure all of that out right now. But yeah, the mayor didn't seem like it was on his radar screen yesterday as if it was one of those places that they were called to a lot. He seemed genuinely concerned. He said he spent time on the porch and there weren't any immediate red flags anyway, but it's still very early.
Yeah, no, listen, you could always go find a disgruntled employee anywhere very fast. We found one yesterday. I don't know if she's disgruntled, but she just said that, the place is terrible.
She doesn't work there anymore.
Yeah, I was a former worker there. It's got all kinds of problems. All right, she had her say. The mayor said there's no buzz in town that this is a bad place that he knew of. He's dealing with the firefighters today, Allison, who wasted no time.
What did you think of that? Yeah, what did you think of that timing?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I thought the timing was lousy.
I totally agree with you.
The place still stinks of smoke. We're still boarding
People
it up.
People are suffering.
The mayor
we don't know if
praising.
this person in critical condition is going to make it or not. And we're talking, it felt political to me as well.
The mayor is praising the work of the firefighters, and they
the
come
governor.
out not 4 or 5 hours later and they're slamming him in budget cuts. I asked him about this yesterday at 5:30. He didn't take the bait. He said, I'm not going to get into it. This is not the time to be political. I think he's right about that.
They've been
Look,
staffed properly up to national standards, there would have been 8 more firefighters effecting rescues here last night. There's no doubt that would have made a difference.
what's your response?
My response is that this is not the time for politics. I've staffed the level of the fire department and what the chief asked for. I don't know the numbers. I'm a vice principal. You talk about a school, let's go. But I'm not going to tell the police or the fire or EMS what they need for numbers.
Well, I can talk about numbers because we did this yesterday, Gene. I think you're with me. We reported 35 firefighters responding to the scene. There was mutual aid. Other cities and towns came in. I don't know. The timing just poking.
Yeah, no,
I don't know.
There's no question. Listen, that's a tough town in many ways, and the firemen's union they want to strike when the time is right, when they've got the spotlight and the cameras out there hanging on every word they said. The national president was in yesterday, along with the local union president, and that's the time they chose to go after the mayor and budget
Meanwhile,
cuts.
we have people still in the hospital, right?
Yeah,
We still have people in the hospital. Family members just learning that at least 9 people have died, dealing and coping with that. You know, the city and the governor also coming forward saying we're going to help as much as we can find people food, shelter, medication as well, because all the medication had to be thrown out. So they were scrambling. And it was interesting because when this first broke, I was like, wow, they were really praising first responders right away about how quickly and competently they responded. So I got to tell you, I was surprised to see the union out there so quickly. Maybe in 2-3 days, we could hear something like this, but the timing for me was a little off.
Just hours after that, the place was still, the smoke
they were
was
still boarding it up behind them.
The buzz saw it going on, and that's the timing they chose to go after the mayor. So he's a
their
big
choice.
boy. Politics is a tough place, and the unions can be tough, and they were tough on him yesterday, I think, right in the midst of all this. By the way, Alison, you know what struck me in walking around that place? The configuration. That used to be an old boarding house called the Redwood Manor. So that explains, was kind of a hotel, but not quite a hotel.
In the shape
I understand.
Of a U, 3 stories.
Yeah, single occupancy, things like that. Then it became a nursing, assisted living, rather. And they said it's 3 floors. It's not really 3 floors. The first floor is below grade,
right? Oh, okay. And it also looks like the handicap, right? And it almost looks like the handicap ramp is retrofitted to the building.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Same width, right? And same. They were backing into the needs of an older building, if you will, which again could be legal, but maybe not the best when it comes to a practice.
But picture, Alison, if you're below grade, you're half in the basement. To get to a window, how are you going to get up? You got to pull a piece of furniture over, climb up, climb out the window with broken glass. I mean, it'd be tough to do for a young person in good shape, let alone someone elderly or someone ill. Now, with regard to elderly, I was looking at the list of the victims. 61, 64, 69. That's on the young end.
I was going to say, I was going to say the same thing too. Yeah. I was expecting higher 70s, maybe even early 80s. I mean, not that it really makes a difference, but gosh, my heart just goes out to all of these families who are suffering this morning. I do want to take a quick package from Molly, who did speak with some family members. Yeah. And then we'll get back to this because this goes back to the timing of everything. I don't want to diminish what the fire union, though, is saying, that maybe staffing is an issue. It's just about the timing. Literally, let's everybody can decide for themselves, but let's listen to what Molly had to report on, and then we'll take it from there.
Now my whole family's gone, except for me. And when I opened my room door, the smoke just hit me right in the face.
Resident Al Manza face-to-face with a deadly fire at the Gabriel House, assisted living in Fall River.
Police officer helped me out.
Did he carry you?
I walked.
Disabled, uses a walker and on oxygen to help him breathe. He managed to leave his second-floor apartment, walk down a flight of stairs, and escape.
I didn't think that I was going to make it either.
With nothing but the clothes on his back, now thanking first responders for going back in and getting what means most to him.
A small urn. Somebody went back to the building and got it. And that's worth the Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel. Because that's all I got of my daughter.
Emotional, traumatized.
Fireman came in, busted the window, banged on my door. Get out, get out.
But grateful to first responders.
The first responders did an excellent job. You got to give them credit, pulling them out of windows. A friend of mine lived on the 3rd floor, and I kept telling him, get him out. He's blind and handicapped. And they got him out. They got him out, thank God.
And the mayor vows everyone will have someplace safe to stay.
I'm just glad I'm glad I got out and I'm alive.
Oh,
Yeah.
I just feel for Al, for those people. It also sounds, Gene, like Al was very lucky. It sounded like he was close to the door to get to the stairs. And I think that was a lot of this, right? Like where you were positioned in the building was critical.
Yeah, it wasn't the flames; it was the smoke. The firefighters have
smoke.
said the smoke filled the place.
Which
there's
they
a
said
lot.
is typical.
There's a larger discussion here. Listen, you could look at that place, and I'm sure you could find 1,000 violations. That the paint and the cracked sidewalk and the foundation and this and that. And on the other hand, what if you can't afford $8,000 to $10,000 for an assisted living? Right. Are we grateful that there are places like this that can at least supply it for $2,000? Give me your social security check and we'll take that. And here's $100 to keep in your bank account. And how's this guy running this on that kind of money with a full staff? You need cooks.
Well,
chefs.
I think it's scaled, Gene. I think this is not his only property, right? So his profit margin probably has to do with his bigger portfolio, I would imagine,
but
with how he scaled his business. But
is there a larger issue here?
I
What do
think
we do?
so.
What do we do with people who
Right.
need assisted living but can't afford?
Or how we retrofit some of these older buildings, because this would never fly with affordable housing that's being built right now, right? Totally different standards.
Allison, look, you know what came up on the radio today?
Yeah.
Look what we did with those shelter pallets, with the pallet shelters in Providence. I mean, alarms, fire suppression, fireproof doors. And that's basically a shed. The mayor said, I was in it. You could go like this and touch it, push the window out, push the door out. You're not going to have a problem getting out of that.
Right.
And then, there's on the radio today, people were really venting. This country spends billions and billions, and a lot, we spend it on the migrants, we spend it on other things. And here we have people in Fall River, clearly that place, I think, needs a lot more than $2,000 a month to sustain itself.
Absolutely. Yes. I would
So
agree
these
with
are
that
these
too.
are legitimate, larger issues.
We're only about 48 hours into this story, to this event, so a lot's going to shake out from this too. And thank goodness for the first responders who rushed in and helped.
Yeah.
Everybody praising their work from the very beginning,
including the mayor, who was very generous.
and the governor. The governor too. Yeah. So we are grateful for all of their hard work as well. So investigators are looking into this now. As far as we know, not suspicious. I'm dying to know though, like what happened? Was this electrical? I don't think we still have a clear answer too about whether or not the smoke detectors went off in a timely manner. The sprinklers supposedly were in the building. Did they go off?
I don't think we've received official
We have
word.
not received that yet. So these are all
And
things that are shaking itself out right now.
Lighting and staffing. Now, at night, assisted livings go to a skeleton staff, maybe a nurse, maybe 2 nurses, maybe nobody in the front manning the desk. This is at the best of them, by the way, because people go to bed.
Right.
And the nurse has done medication management. She's handed your pills. Everybody's lights out. You do whatever you want behind closed doors.
And it's existed this way since what, 1999, right when they were first licensed?
And what's the policy? Do you lock your doors? Do you leave your doors open? Some of them leave the doors open. Some of them
Right.
lock it. When they go in door, I imagine whoever was there was banging on doors.
I think once they realized it was an emergency, right?
Yeah.
But it's really the smoke that's the most dangerous, and not everybody necessarily
Right.
knows that, even though we report on it a lot. So as investigators are looking into this, the union that represents the city's firefighters is saying the following. They are saying the more lives could have been saved. The International Association of Firefighters claiming chronic staffing shortages. Only 2 of the 10 fire companies are staffed at national standards. We heard that in the soundbite, and then you had the mayor respond. That means 4 firefighters per truck. They must operate with at least 3 per truck in Fall River, is what our producer's telling us. The union president says fire resources were stretched thin, but it sounds like they did get mutual aid that came in. And he said 40 minutes into the fire, this is awful. One captain was still finding victims alone on the 3rd floor. So they were going door to door, and obviously more people would help, I would imagine, right? If you could split it up. So yes, we did have that soundbite with them. And the mayor, do you think he seemed surprised to have to deal with the union so quickly, or not?
I don't know. He's been the
I don't
mayor
know
there. He
either.
knows how unions operate. Listen, the unions, I guess they're going to seize the moment And while the fire's in the news, let's make our point, and we'll let the dust settle afterward. The mayor, I don't know that maybe he did seem a little taken
He called
aback
himself, right, the vice principal.
at the intensity.
Yeah.
To actually say more lives could have been saved. Wow, that's quite a statement.
Right. So we're still learning this live as we talk right now. So I want to know more about also the survivors. This morning on Sunrise, we named every person who is now deceased out of respect for them and their families. And we still are awaiting the identities of 2 more people. But I think we have a lot to learn from this story, not just in how Massachusetts regulates these places, but how they're regulated up and down the East Coast as well. And I think nationally, we might see a change in standards as well. I'm really curious to hear from the owner at some point. I could understand why he wouldn't want to talk to reporters when he was there, but he was on the scene, everybody said, and he was cooperating with the investigation. So that will be the interview to get ASAP, so we can talk to him and figure out what he's up against as well and how responsive he was to standards.
All fair questions as this all plays out.
That's our job.
We'll see what comes of it today.
We will. The weather mostly cooperated with them yesterday. It wasn't like they were dealing with wind and everything, which was a plus. You and I have covered so many of these big fires, mostly mill fires in our region, and the wind can really change things. So that cooperated with firefighters and first responders yesterday. Let's go out to AJ, who's looking at the weather for today, because even though they're cleaning things up there, they're boarding up, and they're definitely like all hands on deck still. AJ, how is the weather cooperating with everybody on the scene still? Good morning.
Alison, Jean, good morning. Yeah, talking about some pretty oppressive humidity over these next few days. We've already seen the dew points rise well into the 70s this morning. We actually do have a heat advisory as well. That goes into effect at 11 a.m. and actually runs through Thursday. So we got a couple days here, actually 3 days, with those heat indice values getting up to 95 to 100 degrees. And that's away from the immediate coastline. But nonetheless, we're all going to be feeling this humidity. Dew points expected to climb towards 75, so very tropical outside. Definitely going to be sweating quite a bit as well. Now, in terms of rain chances, we had a few showers work through early on this morning. This afternoon, I would say there's a stray rain chance, primarily Providence County, northern Bristol County, but don't be surprised if a few raindrops do come on down. Any cloud cover actually will be helping lessen some of the heat that we'll be seeing from the sun. Of course, we're heating up already. The heat index this morning at TF Green already up to 85, could be close to around 95 by day's end. Now, the heat will peak heading for tomorrow afternoon. You'll be feeling close to around 100 degrees. So make sure you're drinking plenty of water, finding a way to stay cool. I know it's something repetitive we keep it saying, but nonetheless, definitely need to make sure we're staying safe out there, looking before we lock as well. And then also just being mindful, some of the pavement temperatures, Fido, going for the morning walk or afternoon walk, just got to be cautious. If it's too hot for your feet, it's too hot for your pet's feet as well. We're also tracking potential for a tropical cyclone down in the Gulf. This is potential to become our next named storm. We're on to letter D. It would be Dexter if it does develop. Still just about a 40% chance within these next 7 days of anything developing. But of course, Storm Detail will keep you updated on that and updated on the heat. You can actually find 2 blogs on our website for more information on that. But hot, humid today. You can see the sun shining behind me. Allison and Jean definitely want to make sure we're getting up on the water, getting up on the hydration today, because even though it won't be quite as hot as what we saw a few weeks ago, with the humidity this high, we're going to be sweating quite a bit. So losing some water in more ways than one. Definitely want to make sure we're staying hydrated.
All right. That makes a lot of sense.
I'm glad we didn't chop that tree down in the back, providing some shade.
It's providing plenty of shade for me today. Sorry you can't see my face. I'll make sure I'm lit up a little bit better next week.
You're doing everything today. Literally, sound, video, you name it. Name of the game these days, right? Okay, Jean, I know you're number one on the radio, okay, in general, in the morning, especially when it comes to news. However, can we celebrate another team?
Sure, absolutely.
Do I have your permission?
We're very generous here, yes. Very generous.
Today, 2 local disc jockeys. Who am I talking about? 35 years on the air. Yes, you're
Paul
right.
And Al. Oh, okay.
You are right.
They're my competition. They're on when I'm on.
Yeah, I mean, different format. They've been on a little bit longer than you, but yes. But we love to be generous here and spread the love, as they say. So we had some live shots of them on this morning on the Sunrise Show, but with everything going on in Fall River, we couldn't dedicate as much time as we wanted. So here we will. Let's take a look at this right now. Katie Benoit joined Paul and Al at the studio in Providence as they marked this major milestone. Take a look.
5 years. How are you guys feeling today?
Tired. Old. No,
We're loving it. 35 years here at HJY, at the home of rock and roll.
Yeah.
Getting people up in the morning.
Let's be honest, having a job for 35 years, doesn't matter what your job is, just to be able to work somewhere that you're happy with for 35 years is a big deal.
And I know you were talking about earlier, just your goal is to really make people smile on their way into work.
Yeah, that's basically our job, so somebody can deal with their job a little bit better. And for a lot of people, unfortunately, with the commute, a lot of people are driving as an individual in the car. So it's almost like, being that companion riding shotgun.
Exactly, so a little bit of rock and roll, maybe we can make somebody laugh, and that's the goal.
That's our mission.
Yeah.
And then you brought in this banana nut bread today. Can you tell us a little bit about why you did that?
So back when we first started, we got here in 1990, July 15th, 1990. So in the early 90s, on Channel 10, Patrice Wood hosted this segment called What's Cooking, right?
Right. So we actually invited her to my house in Edgewood in Cranston.
Yep.
And Al had this killer banana bread recipe.
Which is, I'm still cooking it to this day. It's the same recipe.
Do we have the picture handy? I don't know. Well, we forced Patrice to wear a hairnet.
Yeah.
And I think she's holding it against us.
Yeah, I'll find it while you keep talking. Yeah, so anyway, we made her wear one of those great lunch lady hairnets, and she was such a sweetheart about it. Here we go. I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. Here we go.
All right, there we go. Lunch lady land.
Little blast from the past.
And she's still a sweetie to this day.
All right.
My competition, they're on exactly when I'm on.
There we have it.
Yeah, and they got about a 20-year head start on me. So my best to them. They're very talented.
35 years.
And to last that long on any station is
as a team too. Yeah.
As a team, sure.
Which is a big deal. So congratulations to both of them. That's a great milestone to celebrate, and we wish them the very best. For sure. Gene, you think you'll be on the radio 35 years? What year are you on?
It's 13 in the morning.
Okay.
Wait, hold on. I went out on 2013, so it's actually coming up on 13. Yeah, I think that's right. Coming up on 13.
Okay.
But I started a few years before that on the weekends, so time flies when you're having fun. And 30 for me, it's 34. Coming up on 34 at Channel 10. So I find something I like to stay, Alison. I don't like to change
Same
things.
with me. Do you know I'm going to celebrate?
I married my senior prom date, so
I know. I love that.
Yeah,
I love that. I am coming up on 10 years just on Sunrise here at Channel 10.
Wow, that's
August 2025. Yes. I promised them 2 years on Sunrise. What happened?
Wow.
I know.
That's flew. And then how long at Channel 10 altogether?
Okay, so
you were here, then you left, you came back.
2002 to 2006, then went up to Boston for a couple contracts, and then came back in 2010.
Okay.
And one of these days, I'm gonna get back. I hope with you, co-anchoring with you, maybe at night one day. We'll see.
That'd be a winning team.
I hope so.
Yeah, we've done it before together too.
We have for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, this is fun to be with you here too. So we have a lot. We're going to keep going with this every Tuesday morning for sure. And we'll have much more information as we keep getting deeper and deeper into the Fall River story as well.
Yep.
I just want to extend our condolences, of course, to all the families of the survivors of the fire and also those who lost loved ones. It's a rough week, definitely, for everybody. All right, Gene, I will see you around town, as they say.
I'll
Give my
see
love
you.
to Diane.
I will fill in for you.
now.
When I fill in, I call it coffee milk. You're right. Ciao for now. All
Ciao
right.
for now.
Bye.
Bye.